there, guys. This is Vargas XX78 with the first ever official audiocast that I'm gonna do with someone else. I experimented doing this a while ago when I talked about a couple of movies, audio only. It's not podcast because we don't have a chat room in any way. This is just me and my brother talking about whatever we think about. And this is the first. We're thinking of calling it the Super Vargas Audiocast. No, actually, scratch that. It's the Super Vargas Brothers Audiocast. This is the first episode that we're gonna try to see how it works out, how the audio kicks in, and if this is popular. With me here on the line through the computer is my brother. Say hi, bro.
Hello.
Well, what's your name, bro?
You already said both. So, okay. Alright, so my name is, well, right now with the YouTube options, I can now actually put my name, or it's Emmanuel. But my nickname in most websites is DYC. Either you can use 89 or 69.
Okay, so if someone looks for you, because that's the name you use on online, right?
Yes, most of my websites have DYC69 as the main name, but I'm starting to switch it to 89 instead.
Okay, cool. So, so like I said, this is a work in process. You're gonna hear us stutter a lot because we haven't done this before. I've talked with my brother, in the same room, and I've talked to him through a Skype conversation. Hopefully this will fix the lags in video form, and but again, this is our first episode, so we're gonna stutter our words. Maybe you might hear some typing, or just moments of silence where we are trying to remember the stuff that we want to talk about. But hopefully this will be fun. I'm hoping this will be fun, and everyone out there will enjoy this, and we can make this into a new thing for our channel. So. First off, the very first topic that we're going to talk about is fighting games. I personally am not that good at fighting games. I'm honestly kind of bad at them. I'm really gun-ho at fighting games. It takes me a while to memorize moves. I'm really a button smasher. Rare exceptions where I actually try to memorize the fighting moves of one particular character. So I'm not terribly good at fighting games, but I enjoy the hell out of them. My bro here, he's a beast in fighting games. He will beat your ass and make it look so easy. Ain't that right, bro?
I don't like to float.
Right.
I don't put myself in ego. The thing is that I have experience in the kind of like fighting game community, which is a general term for fighting games, the FGC. Now the thing about that is that although I may appear to be good, there's other people who are way better. So if anything, I am above decent, and I'm aware of this, the fighting community, and what they're based on and their rules as well.
Yeah, no, you're. Don't be modest, dude. I've seen you fight, and you fought against our other brother, who's also really good at fighting games, and you've gotten to the point where you can kick his ass in any game. So don't sell yourself short. You're pretty awesome at fighting games. Just watching you fight and watching your fighting videos is really cool, bro. So I know there probably there's always a bigger fish, and there's always someone that might be better, but you're still pretty awesome, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, I always tell him that he should participate in tournaments, cause you never know, maybe one day you'll be on fire and you'll kick all sorts of ass. But on this premiere episode, that's the topic that we wanted to talk about, because I was talking with my bro about the Angry Joe review of Mortal Kombat X. And some of the stuff he talked about, but let's go back. Let's go back, way back into the origins of the fighting game. I know you were really young when this happened, but I remember fighting games through my other brother, the second brother in our family. back when Street Fighter 2 released. I remember very clearly that we went to a video rental store, and they had the arcade for Street Fighter 2, and I remember being blown away at how good that game was, and you know how everyone would use Blanca and Ryu and Ken, and you would occasionally meet up with someone that got really good at it. Do you have any memories of Street Fighter 2?
Yes, actually. We can also refer to our brother as Alpha Dragon X. That would be his nickname, but for short, we'll just keep it as Alpha. And yes, I was born in exactly why my name is Dyz69 now, because I was from the '89, and I did manage to get into the Super Nintendo era, Street Fighter 2 being one of them. And that's where this whole fighting thing started for me as well. I'm never good at 6-button fighters because there's just a lot of buttons, and a lot of the special moves are assigned to either medium punch or high punch and different patterns. That makes it harder for me. And on the control pad, it's also difficult because usually the stronger punch are in the trigger buttons, and that's not easy for me. But it did invite me into the whole genre of fighting games. It's just so much, especially in Super Street Fighter 2, hitting someone is quite satisfying in that sense, and Smash Brothers is the one that really sewn it in for me.
Yeah, we'll get to Smash Brothers, bro. Because I think that one was really cool. But Street Fighter, the only thing that as much as I loved Street Fighter, the only thing that really kind of annoyed me was on the Super Nintendo and in home consoles is that they would release like Street Fighter 2, and then they would release Super Street Fighter 2, and then they would release Street Fighter 2 the new challengers or new champions, and then they would release Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and then they would release Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Deluxe editions, and all those annoying updates kind of got me annoyed. But I love the characters that they introduced. Cammy is still one of the remaining awesome characters. But Street Fighter really again, I was never really good at fighting games. I would maybe last a couple of rounds, but then someone way better would come in and just get me off the board. But really enjoyed the Street Fighters. And then this other game came along, and if I'm honest, I actually enjoyed this series a little better than Street Fighter. Because the characters seem more diverse, and I love the 3-character gameplay that it offered instead of Street Fighter. And I don't know if you remember playing any of the King of Fighters games.
It's one of the more common things as considering our nationality, because Street Fighter was a big hit on the US, not so much for King of Fighters, but in Mexico it's most commonly known that King of Fighters work the best here. So yes, that is one of the games I know, and because of I'm more aware of the fighting game community. King Fighter is pretty big over here in Mexico.
Yeah, I remember reading in Club Nintendo when they were releasing new King of Fighters, and it was a big deal in Mexico City. And the thing that I loved about King of Fighters is that while they only updated the roster, you did feel a change because the story was different. You had the Orochi saga, and then you had all these different sagas that would start up in the series as the years went on. And honestly, again, the sprite mapping I thought was a little better than Street Fighter. Just the animations of all the characters and so on. And I remember, again, not to brag or anything, but I was never as good at Street Fighter as I was with King of Fighters. I really got into using characters like Kyo or Yori or Mai or some of the other characters. I could switch any one of the characters in the game, and I would do pretty good, like Terry Bogard and so on. Street Fighter, you had to memorize the moveset, but King of Fighters, I personally enjoyed more because I think I was better at King of Fighters than Street Fighter.
That can be explained why too. That was the reason. Street Fighter 2, its combo system wasn't intentional. It was actually a glitch, where some moves had a cancel window where you could do another one. That was a glitch, but they kept it in. The problem about that is that the timing of those combos is very strict. Even up to this point, it's still kind of hard to pull off a combo. King of Fighters, on the other hand, though, had a bigger window, as their focus was flashy combos, and it's actually intentional. So that was one of the things about King of Fighters, which I also like for that reason. Terry Bogard is started quite well in our, every time we play King of Fighters, that was one of the characters that we would pick alongside Kyo and Orochi.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, it's hard, but I honestly think my favorite version is the Marvel version, not Marvel, that's a different topic. Is the Capcom versus SNK that released on the GameCube?
The Millennium Fighter?
Yeah, because that one released on the Dreamcast, but I think the GameCube version, even though you could set it up so you can do all the special moves with the C stick, that kind of made it cheaper. But I like that one quite a bit.
Well, if I can comment while we're on that one, I don't see what. I guess some people consider it's cheap because you can just pull up and move instantly, and it does allow for certain impossible situations. But I never mind. I'm not sure how my opinion is based around these things, but I don't understand the games that make doing anything a challenge. The point of most fighting games is to bring as many people as possible and to master the system. By making it harder than it should be, you're kind of limiting a lot of people, which is why, as we're getting to the N64 era, Smash Brothers is the one that kind of opened those options for other, not like super strict timing people.
Yeah, because I will admit that was the thing that's the one thing that I'm not as savvy with fighting games. It's even though me and my brother would collect Club Nintendo and they would give you the move sets, which was something that arcade games didn't have. I was never good at pulling them off. I couldn't remember the moves or pull off the moves. So I do understand that for your casual fighting enthusiast, it would be more attractive to pull off moves easier.
Yeah.
But again, because I grew up in the arcades, going to the arcades and at least trying to do it, and seeing how people would pull them off, like, oh, I'll kick you with the super combo, and they would do it. I guess I kind of respect that a little bit more. I respect people that take the time to master a character and his movesets. To take the time to actually memorize all the movesets and actually pull them off. Because again, on YouTube, whenever I see one of the Evo semifinals and the stuff that they pull on in that, it's a thing of beauty to see, two masters going at it, and it's really, really awesome, I think.
Yeah.
But King of Fighters was pretty good. But one of the fighting games that came along and really stirred controversy on the fighting genre itself, and it was a really awesome fighter, is Mortal Kombat. I remember going to seeing Mortal Kombat, and I really liked the visual style, because it was done with by taking pictures of actors or martial artists, and then they would just digitize that and put the images together and just release the game. But I remember the first time that I went to an arcade and was watching someone play Mortal Kombat. I don't remember if I was playing against him or it was our brother Alpha.
Yeah.
But then someone did the fatality, because before the finish him logo would appear, but someone would just punch you to death. And then someone came along and did the fatality, and it was Sub-Zero's ripping the spinal column, and I was like, whoa, what the hell? And since then, a lot of people did fatalities, and Mortal Kombat was pretty good. I think my favorite version of Mortal Kombat is the Mortal Kombat trilogy that came out, I think, on the 64 on the Super Nintendo. But I think that's my favorite version of Mortal Kombat. What do you think of Mortal Kombat, bro?
Mortal Kombat, unfortunately, I didn't have that arcade experience. or like you said, people didn't know what the whole finish was until someone figured out the fatalities, and that's kind of dying now because with the internet, everyone knows how to do those kind of surprises. But for me, I did manage to play Mortal Kombat, but the one I mostly remember is Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate, which was for the Super NES.
Oh, that's the one I was thinking.
Okay, because there was a trilogy later on.
Oh, then I don't remember anymore.
Well, it's still there. I mean, it's pretty accurate. But yeah, Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate is where it had a bunch of characters from 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, that's the one I remember, because that's the one I liked. It had all the characters like Smoke and Reptile and you can unlock Cyber Smoke and Normal Smoke. Nub Cybot. I think Goro was there too.
I think it was unlockable.
Yeah,
but it was mostly Motaro, I forgot the centaur.
Wasn't he King Taro? No, King Taro was the tiger thing.
Yeah.
Man, they liked their characters with Ro in the end.
Yeah, Goro, Kintaro. What I say? What the other guy?
Kintaro.
I always forget that guy's name.
I think, I think it was something so new that to see, how violent that game was, because Street Fighter and King of Fighters were violent because, it was a fighting game, but that one had brutal stuff. The brutalities, the animalities, the fatalities. I think they were really cool. Mortal Kombat 4 was the only one. Well, since it was the first one that made the jump to 3D, is probably the weakest one, because it has a lot less characters, and that's the thing I didn't like. After playing Mortal Kombat Ultimate or Mortal Kombat Trilogy, whichever one it was, that one had a bunch of characters, and then having it go back down to like 15, I think, in Mortal Kombat 4 kind of sucked.
Yeah. Recently watching a retrospective of the entire MK era. The creators Ed Boon and Tobias, which sadly Tobias left recently, the MK team. Every time they make a game, they innovate it, and although they fail, examples being MK4, Mortal Kombat vs. DC, and I believe Armageddon was one of the last ones. They do a lot of good stuff, but they also kind of make it bad. But on the next installment, they improve upon them. Right now, Mortal Kombat X is one of the best fighting games right now considered.
Yeah, we'll get to that one, because that's the reason why I wanted to do the fighting podcast. But actually, I liked Armageddon because it went back to having a lot of characters. It had all the characters from the Mortal Kombat universe. I actually liked that one.
Ironically, this is one of those statements that goes like quantity over quality. It's okay to have a lot of characters, but if none of them play good, and because of having a lot of characters, they took away Mortal Kombat's iconic feature, which was the fatalities. In order to manage that, they had to do a custom fatality programming, which even then it wasn't good because they made it. Well, they had to make it kind of fit in. So the buttons for each of the movements was also kind of difficult.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. And even though it's gotten super realistic with the graphics and everything, I still miss the look of the first 3 Mortal Kombats. Again, there was just something about the way that the graphics looked with the digitized actors.
Yeah.
That made it cool. I don't know. There was just something about that visual style that I thought was so cool. Now it looks, kind of cheesy. But back in the day, honestly, again to myself, I still enjoyed it, and I miss that style. I miss that style quite a bit. But that was Mortal Kombat. The next big fighting game that I remember came out is Killer Instinct. Which was a huge accomplishment that they released Killer Instinct on the NES, Super Nintendo, and then the N64 with Killer Instinct Gold. It's a damn shame that there's only those 2 games, and there was a port on the Game Boy, but even with the black and white palette, that one was pretty cool to play. I mean, graphically it's pretty bad, but the gameplay was spot on for a Game Boy Killer Instinct game. But Killer Instinct on the Super Nintendo was badass, and Killer Instinct Gold is the gameplay. I think in that one is a lot cool. Did you get a chance to play the arcade version of Killer Instinct?
Sadly, no. I have not been able to play neither of the Killer Instincts on their arcade incarnations. I have played the Super Nintendo, the Game Boy, and the 64, which sadly were stripped down of a lot of frames of animations in order to make that possible. But even then, it's funny because back then I didn't understand how the combo system worked. Now that I played it back, knowing a little bit better, I can actually do the combos. And those games not being like too much of a nostalgia, because I didn't used to play them that much. I love Saber Wolf, but now going back to those games and knowing how to do the combos, it's really fun. I enjoyed getting the killer combos or the ultimate finishers.
I don't know anything about Killer Instinct 3. How does that work?
Killer Instinct 3? Or you talk about the new one? Because they made the first one, then they got the second one, which got converted into gold when it came to the 64, and now there's the third one, which is on the Xbox.
Yeah, the one on the Xbox.
Oh, that one's really good. It started with, oh fuck, I forgot their names. Double Helix. Double Helix started the game, and they redesigned the characters. And at first, a lot of people didn't like how Jago looked, because he no longer looked like he did before. But it started to grow on people, and so it did to me. The combo system is much more easier. Combo breakers are also easier, and the entire graphic system looks great, considering it's on a budget. Once they finished the initial characters, they went over to Iron Galaxy, and they brought back Cinder, Riptor, which were gone from the second Killer Instinct.
I saw Spinal there.
Spinal is there too. So it's Full Gore, TJ Combo. They brought Maya, and they also
Saber Wolf. I think I saw Saber Wolf there.
You're right, Saber Wolf. Saber Wolf's also there, and it's sort of like a reboot, but not a lot. They're still expanding on it. They still are right now with Cinder being released. And it's really looking good. People were afraid when Double Helix left and they gave it over to Iron Galaxy that they were going to start messing up. But they really showed themselves with TJ Combo, a new character they introduced named Hisako, which is a ghost girl, the last missing piece of the crazy character roster Killer Instinct is known for, and Cinder, who looks really fun.
Okay. Well, I don't have an Xbox, but is that going to be released on Xbox 360 or Xbox One?
It's only for the Xbox One.
Xbox One?
Yeah, for the new Killer Instinct.
Lame.
I know.
Oh well. I really like what Rare did with Killer Instinct. Again, only three games on Nintendo platforms, but they were really cool, and I remember the songs being pretty badass. I really enjoyed the songs. The only thing I miss from it's not necessary, but it did give it a more polished look. Is that in the arcades, Killer Instinct Gold, for example, had animations. And in the N64 they only had like this one still frame for the characters, but still I really enjoyed those games, even though I wasn't as good as pulling off Ultra. But I really liked those. But Cinder on the Super Nintendo was broken. Anyone that used Cinder automatically won. Stupid Cinder.
Kind of, yeah. Between Cinder, Glacius, and Saber Wolf.
Yeah. Well, talking about the 64, we're finally gonna talk to it. A fighting game series that came out that I enjoyed the hell out of it. I remember really getting interested in that game because of the commercial. I don't know if you remember that we saw that commercial on TV, bro. That had Mario, Yoshi, Pikachu, and Donkey Kong walking on this flower field, and then Mario tripped Yoshi, and then they would start beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, and you would see Pikachu flying,
Left to right.
Yeah. I was like, holy crap, it's so crazy to see all the Nintendo characters wailing on each other. And I was super excited about that because they would talk about it on Club Nintendo magazine, and just because of that commercial, I was like, oh, I gotta get this game. And that's of course Super Smash Brothers. It was just it was a different sort of fighting game, because in fighting games, all fighting games, you had to lower the other character's life bar. In this one, you had to get their damage percentage really up, and then do a super move to send them flying or get a special item. But on the 64, which was a beautiful machine for multiplayer, it was just so much fun and craziness getting all four characters. All four players playing four characters and just wailing on each other with the items, and then the special ones. The freaking hammer was the one that if anyone got it, they would get a lot of scores with that one. And that and the Pokemon. I love that they put Pokemon in the Smash Brothers video games, but it was just you would either get something. At least that happened to me a lot. You would get something really cheap like a Magikarp.
No, it was Goldie.
And I remember getting Magikarps.
There's no Magikarp in the Smash Brothers. They put Goldie.
You sure? I remember Magikarp in one of them.
I know my Smash Brothers.
Yeah, you're probably right. But it was probably Goldeen. You're probably right. But you would get this useless Pokemon, and then your opponent would get something really cool, and then just blow you out of the freaking scene. But I really love Smash Brothers. It's not only because I'm not saying it because I'm a Nintendo fanboy, even though I am. But I just really love the way that the 4-player action made everything so crazy. And then, just seeing the Nintendo characters beat each other. Even though in the 64 version, anyone that used Kirby would automatically win, because I think Kirby on the original Smash Brothers was way overpowered.
In the original Smash Brothers, the top tiers, which is something common in the FGC, it was Kirby, Captain Falco, and Fox.
I think Captain Falco became a broken character in Melee. In the original 64 version, he was good, but he wasn't as good as Kirby. I think they really overpowered Captain Falcon. Personally, I think they overpowered him in Melee.
Yeah, Melee it carried over. Kirby was nerfed. Fox and Falco's really good. Marth and Roar is also good. Jigglypuff, surprisingly, is very good in Melee. Captain Falco, you're right, is among the top tiers. And Sheik. Those are the most common top tiers in Melee. And those guys in the competitive scene, I don't know how they do it, because they go really fast. They have to press the L button and the jump button at perfect timing in order to get one of an advanced technique. It's just crazy to watch those tournaments in Melee, but very fun to watch at the same time. Yeah. Oh, Ice Climbers are very top tier too.
Yeah, because I enjoyed a lot the 64 version. I think the reason why Kirby's so overpowered is because HAL Laboratories was the developer for the Kirby game, so they were like, oh, we're going to make our character overpowered. But as much as I love the 64 version, I think my favorite version up until the Wii U was Melee. I liked Melee a lot better than Brawl. And I remember the intro for Melee, and I think that has a lot to do with it. I was just blown away by the intro to Melee. And I think, compared to Brawl, I think, other than, Captain Falco, who's broken as hell, Melee had a more balanced, all the characters felt, except Captain Falco again, felt balanced. You can pick up any character and fight with that character, and you could do pretty good. There was no lane character in the whole roster.
Yeah, that's true. There may be kind of lame tactics in Melee, but with the fast pace, it's very hard to get away with that. And mostly it's Falco, but other than that, it's very fast paced and in your face. Mostly known as rush downs, where you put a lot of shield pressure until it either breaks or you hit them and just combo them to hell. Melee is still, up to this day, a very high competitive Smash game. Like I just said, it's very crazy to see them play that at such high competitive levels.
Yeah.
You're right, the entire roster is balanced. You see Yoshi's, Peach's, Mario's, Luigi's, very rarely Bowser's, but you do see a huge variety. There's not a definitive best character. Unlike Brawl, Brawl does have a definitive top tiers, which is Meta Knight and Snake. Those are the best characters.
Meta Knight, he's the broken character in Brawl.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Melee had Mewtwo, and I really liked Mewtwo. I think it's one of the other reasons I didn't like Brawl that much, because they replaced Mewtwo with Lucario.
Yeah.
And I just liked Mewtwo a lot better. But Brawl had a Pokemon trainer who had Charizard, so that was pretty awesome. Graphically, it of course improved a lot from Melee. But yeah, the characters felt a little bit more broken on Brawl than they did on Melee. Some of the characters that were awesome, like for example Kirby. Kirby's still a powerhouse, but he felt kind of dumbed down, if that makes sense. And the one that they overpowered way too much was Meta Knight. He's the broken character of that game. Man, I remember playing online and just getting my ass whooped with Meta Knight. And that's the other thing. Brawl introduced online play, but the online, personally, it was really hard to find a good game on Brawl. Compared to Mario Kart Wii, the online in Mario Kart Wii was flawless. It was beautiful. And I don't know what the hell happened with Brawl, because the online wasn't that good.
Actually, I don't know the technical reasons, but I guess it can be because Brawl was a double-layered disc. I think it's the only one of its kind.
But
maybe aside from Xenoblade, but you're right. The online on that game is very known as the worst online.
Have you downloaded that fan-made project for for Brawl?
Yes, Project M.
Yes.
It's really
I haven't done that since you can't play online anymore on the Wii anyway. I want to see if that's still available and download it, because I heard on I think it was one of the videos from Screw Attack that changes the game a lot as far as balancing issues. Yeah. And you don't trip as much, which is something that Brawl introduced, that you could trip for dumb reasons.
Yeah, that's one. Actually, you don't trip at all. They completely removed that. That's one of the speculations they were saying, because when Melee came out, it was a very competitive game. It still is. But Sakurai didn't like that, the creator of the Smash Bros. Series, and Kirby. So, unintentionally, he made Brawl bad for any type of competitive plays by making the movement speed slower, removing actually people to this day don't know if they were intentional or glitches, whereas to reduce the cooldown of your attacks to go faster, that's completely removed. Recoveries are also made to prevent what they call edge hogging, where they don't let you get back into the stage.
Oh yeah.
And tripping. Tripping is the worst hated thing, and they think he just added that to sort of knock down the competitive scene, which Nintendo noticed how big it is, and they told him not to mess up the next Smash Bros. Game.
Yeah, because the thing I do love about Brawl I really like that mode, and it's a mode I miss in the Wii U version. Was Subspace Emissary.
Oh yeah.
I loved Subspace Emissary. I thought it was so cool. Such a cool feature to have on that. And I played Subspace Emissary. I think it was with you, and unlocking all the characters and stuff. And I really liked it. I especially love the cutscenes for Subspace Emissary.
True. Actually, that's one of the reasons why Brawl is. Like right now, it's the new Smash Bros. That's on the first place. Next one would be Brawl, only because of Space Emissary. Melee, competitively might be the best game, but because I use Yoshi, Yoshi's better in Brawl, and Subspace Emissary just left a huge mark in my childhood.
Yeah, because I remember that, you used to do a move that you would, they took that move away, or at least I haven't seen anyone do it, where you could, as Yoshi, you could swallow someone and then kill yourself.
That's still there. They actually made it better for Smash 4, but
yeah, I haven't seen anyone use that.
it's kind of hard because they now added I'll just refer to it as it is, directional influence, where if you pop out of the egg, you can press a button to avoid the edge. But
Okay.
at higher percentages, that influence grows weaker, so you go off the edge. But it's really hard to do.
Okay.
Almost
Yeah.
nobody falls by that trick.
Yeah, because I remember that being annoying when someone would either use Kirby or Yoshi and swallow you, and then if you played the stock option, and if you played Yoshi and Kirby and had lives on your favor, you can just swallow them and kill yourself, killing the other guy, and then taking the victory.
Yeah, Yoshi is not that good in that kind of suicide, but Kirby, Bowser, and Ganondorf are the best in those suicide. Oh, and King Dedede are the best in those suicide props.
Yeah, and the big thing besides Subspace Emissary that I loved about Brawl is that they finally put in Sonic and Solid Snake.
Yeah, the guest stars, which opened the floodgates
For other characters. Yeah,
Yeah.
but just finally seeing Sonic take on Mario in a fighting game, that was like a dream come true for me. Just, I can't believe that's happening, and it happened, and I got to play it. It was just so mind-blowing to me to see, Sonic and Mario go at it.
Yeah.
Well, after the Brawl, which is again hit or miss for me, came the 3DS version. I really like what they did with the 3DS version. All the characters, balancing issues aren't that bad. Online is pretty cool. The only thing that I don't like in the 3DS version is that you can't change the way you control the characters. The analog nub is good, but I've grown accustomed to a D-pad, if I'm honest. And it would have been cool for them to have an option to make the movements with the D-pad instead of the analog nub. Because I have heard about horror stories that people got really excited and broke the little knob.
That's true. But at the same time, I don't know what they're doing to their 3DS to actually break it. They must be very rough with it, because I'm not sure if I mentioned it already, but I played a lot of Smash Brothers. I have about 5,000 matches already on my 3DS, because I don't have a Wii U. And I don't feel anything wrong with the control sticks. In fact, I think I'm gonna break my R button first, then the control stick.
Sometimes I worry about the analog nub. I really do. I know Nintendo makes their products to last, but it does get, when you're playing online, it does get a little frantic, and I don't think it responds very well. At least I don't think so. Because sometimes my favorite character in the 3DS and Wii version has become Bowser Jr. I love Bowser Jr. He's my main one in those two games. But I'm trying to do the drill attack, and he does the tongue attack when I don't want to do that. Or I try to do the rescue move where he explodes the clown cart, and he jumps to safety. And he doesn't do that either. And I don't know if it's just me, or I think it's the analog nub that either I push it the wrong way. But I would have preferred an option to change to the D-pad. because you use the D-pad to make the taunts, and that one, that option, I don't like that much.
Yeah, that's true. I guess the only reason why they didn't consider that is because for this entire time, Smash Brothers has never used the control pad for movement, unless you're on the Wii and you're using just the Wii mode. That's the only time you can use a control pad. But outside of that, there's never been an option to use a control pad. So I guess they figured it would throw a lot of people off, because they specifically made this one actually for competitive players.
Yeah.
And everyone uses control sticks. But, you know, the 3DS analog stick isn't that good.
Yeah, and then of course, the big one, which has actually become my favorite Smash Brothers, it actually dethroned Melee, was the Wii U version and the 3DS version, but the Wii U especially, because you've played it when I took it, you know, so you can play it. It's a beautiful game. On the Wii U, that thing runs like so smoothly. The animations look beautiful. The stages are amazing. The characters look great in HD and in the big screen. They look amazing on the 3DS, but to see them on the big screen, they look beautiful. The thing that I do miss from the 3DS version and the Wii U version is a story mode. Nintendo said in an interview that they weren't going to put a story mode because people spoiled Subspace Emissary on YouTube. And I don't agree with that. I do think it does need a story mode like Subspace Emissary.
Yeah, I felt the same. I don't know why they decided to even publish it that way. Because, I mean, the only reason I enjoyed Brawl was because of Subspace Emissary. And even when the internet was around, I experienced it myself. But I guess times have changed. But even then, it would have been easier to just say, because we're developing two different games, 3DS and the Wii U, we don't have time to cram in their story mode. That would have been completely fine.
Well, I understand they wouldn't do it on the 3DS, but why not on the Wii U? The disc has the capacity. I don't think the fighters occupy that much memory. And, you know, it's not like the trophies are going to eat up memory on the disc.
Yeah, and I have confirmation of that, because right now I'm doing 3D modeling, and the models that I'm making, well, they're not as super detailed as the ones on the Wii U, but they can come close to a 3DS version. And they don't take that much space. They're less than a megabyte. So, in fact, I guess that's why they do a lot of trophies, because they don't take that much space.
Yeah.
But it does take development time. Making a model, at least for one person, does take a long time, and that's just the model.
They have the videos. I mean, if you go to the video section on the Wii U, you can see the promo videos. They could have used those same videos on a story mode.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
That's my one complaint, because it does kind of have an adventure mode, but it's not that good. Honestly, the 3DS adventure mode is a lot better than the Wii U adventure mode.
Yeah, it's not an adventure mode. it's Smash Tour, and it's really not that good.
Yeah, well, it's kind of I think of it as an adventure mode because you fight against Master Hand.
Oh, wait, you're talking about classic mode. It's just in the 3DS there's Smash Run.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, you're right. The Wii U is more like a tournament setting, and the 3DS is like it makes you feel like it's an adventure, which I do prefer more. But the way the presentation of the Wii U is more exciting because of the music and the background also changing before you fight Master Hand.
Yeah, I really like the music on this this game, the Wii U version. That's why it's become my favorite one. If it would have had Subspace Emissary or something like that, it would have been a million times better. Yeah. But I really like the Wii U version. Mostly because they brought back Mewtwo. If you registered the 3DS and the Wii version, you would get the soundtrack, which is amazing. But you would also get Mewtwo for free, and they announced that Lucas is gonna come back.
Yeah, I have Mewtwo. He's really good.
Yeah, I really like it. But did you see that one of his moves created a glitch?
Who?
Mewtwo.
What?
Yeah, if you played Smash on the 3DS or the Wii U, it was okay. But if you used Mewtwo on one of the Smash runs and the adventure mode on the Wii U, the game would consider it a cheat and it would lock you out of the internet.
I actually got lucky because I didn't got that. As soon as I downloaded Mewtwo, I played Classic Mode and All Star, which is the things they say not to play. And once I finished those, I went straight to online, and I didn't have any issues.
Yeah, they released an update to fix it because they one day the Wii Pad was glowing and was an announcement that saying that they detected a glitch on Mewtwo and they were gonna release a patch to do it. So that they would recommend that you don't use anything except Smash, because if you use anything else with Mewtwo, it would cause problems. But they had Mewtwo and Sonic makes a comeback. I wish they would bring back Metal Gear again, the Solid Snake. He was cool, and but they brought in Pac-Man, who like completes the trifecta of characters that classic characters, like Sonic, Mega Man, and Mario, and Pac-Man was the other one. But the big inclusion, and I was super surprised that they included him, was Mega Man, the classic Mega Man. Because I don't know if you remember, and we didn't even talk about that in one of the Tekken games, they put in Mega Man, but it was the horrible fat version of the cover art from the first one on the NES. You remember that?
Yeah, known as Bad Box Mega Man, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. And honestly, it feels like Capcom, since the creator of Mega Man left Capcom, it feels like Capcom has recently taken a big dump on poor Mega Man. Because oh man, the things that it makes me mad to think of all the stuff they've done to the poor Blue Bomber, and to see Mega Man, classic Mega Man, appear on Smash Brothers with his classic moves, I thought was really cool. And his final Smash, where you can use Mega Man X, and Battle Network is there for some reason, and Mega Man Legends, I thought that was pretty badass too.
For some reason, Mega Man .net or from the network series is pretty good. There's also his from the Star Force in there. 'Cause they sell pretty good in the 3DS and.
Yeah, I have issues with those series. But yeah, they include Mega Man and well, you have it. The Mega Man amiibo is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's another thing that the amiibos, the amiibos themselves are let's be honest here, it's a cash grab by Nintendo to get into the Skylanders and Infinity market.
Yeah.
But it is fun to open up an amiibo, put it on the gamepad, and train him. I know you don't have a Wii U yet, but you're gonna get it, and you already have the Mega Man amiibo, and it's really cool to train your little amiibo, teach him moves, feed him options, and see him level up, and then have that amiibo beat the ass out of everyone that tries to challenge it. It's actually pretty cool. It's like Pokemon.
Yeah. And I did manage to level up my Mega Man a bit, and he was starting to mimic the things I do. The only downside is that he got too used to fighting Mega Man that when I switched to Yoshi, it didn't know what to do.
No. Yeah, but I again, it's just because of the options, I really liked, and the characters. It's got 49 characters, including Mewtwo. It's gonna be 50 with Lucas, and Nintendo had an open invitational for people to vote on which character they would like to include as future DLC. Honestly, I'm hoping Bayonetta makes it in there.
A lot of people do, but at the same time, they would have to restrict her a lot. The only downside also to that is that a lot of Smash fans contacted the creators of Bayonetta, but they annoyed him so much that several times that he's gotten fed up with that and has confirmed that she's not going to be in it. And another perspective is that her moves are very sensual, I guess I could call them.
Yeah.
And it's very unlikely that she would be in. But maybe actually one of the things that maybe they can do is that they can include her clothing as for one of the Mii's.
Yeah.
What they did with X and Proto Man. And,
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, yeah, they would have to desexualize her
yeah.
to get into Brawl, but honestly, I think I feel Brawl needs more female characters. There's too many. It feels like a sausage fest sometimes because you only have Princess Peach, Zelda, Samus, and that's it.
No, well, in Brawl, yes, but we were talking about Smash 4 here. And they have,
Yeah, you got that the daughter of Marth, I think. I forgot her name.
actually, it's the daughter of Chrom.
Oh, okay.
Her name is Lucina.
And
And
Lucina.
then there's Wii Fit Trainer.
Wii Fit Trainer. Yeah, but you could select Wii Fit Trainer male. Paulina's also there. I forgot about her.
Yeah.
But that's how many girls against how many guys?
Hey, it's more girls than there was in Brawl.
Yeah, I'll admit that, but I would like some more variety. You know, like Bayonetta would be great on Brawl, or so yeah. But yeah, Brawl, Wii U, the Wii U version has become my favorite version of Smash Brothers, by far, and then Melee. Those are my favorite, games of the series, definitely by far.
Yeah, I guess because I didn't play Melee as much as I played Brawl. For me, it's Smash 4, then Brawl, then Melee, and then 64. But
Yeah.
one last thing I wanted to talk about that ballot thing. Recently, with the update of Mewtwo, hackers found sound files, and they encountered the victory theme for Roy and the victory theme for Wii U from Street Fighter. Did you heard about that?
Yeah, I did hear that Ryu was a possible candidate, but they didn't finalize the deal with Capcom, I guess. So they let Mega Man go because they're not doing anything with Mega Man. But Ryu would be interesting in Smash Brothers, but his play mechanic I don't think would sync very well with Smash.
Well, that's the thing about the update, because if that was the case that before development they considered the fact of either bringing Mega Man or Wii U, it makes sense that they would bring Mega Man. But after that, those files were non-existent in the entire release of Smash Brothers. They only existed within this update, so that's a strange part. And regarding his moveset, they do fit. A lot of the moves that Ryu does are in a way already in Smash. Hadouken can be made like Lucario's, Mewtwo, or Samus's Arch Beams. There's Shoryuken. A lot of the Mii fighters have that kind of things.
Yeah, that's true.
Even the Tatsumaki, which is his whirlwind kick, I think. The Mii fighter has it, but for up air. They just need to make that instead of going up to go sideways.
Yeah, I hadn't considered that, but I don't know. I just feel maybe it's because I'm so used to his playstyle being different.
Yeah,
Cause it works on crossover games like Marvel vs. Capcom or Capcom vs. SNK, but I just don't see Ryu in working in a Smash. Snake, I think Snake worked because he had, his moveset made sense for for Smash. But I don't know. To me, Ryu just it would be awesome. I'm not gonna deny that. But I don't know. I don't think it would meld. I think he would be broken. That's the thing. I think he might. If they program him the way that he works normally, I think he would be a broken character.
I digress, because that's funny that you compare it to Snake, because Snake is the one that makes less sense to be in a Smash Brothers. It's kind of a bit like Phoenix Wright in the Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom. He's a lawyer, and they had to get creative with his fighting moves, which.
Oh yeah, I don't agree that that Ace Attorney would be on Marvel vs. Capcom. That didn't make that much sense.
They got creative though, and they actually made him work. And he's a very good character. But Snake, I mean, he usually shoots and kills people. They had to restrict him to just explosives and CQC, which ended up making him a broken character because of that.
Yeah, true that.
does match because they will make him kind of bit as slow as Ganondorf, a little bit faster than him because he's always known to be the slow character. He has projectile moves that matches with the characters I mentioned, and his recovery moves would fit too. I mean, Mario and Luigi do an uppercut kind of recovery, so just slap in a Shoryuken in there. Now, the only reason why he wouldn't fit is because he comes from fighting games where it's an entire different mechanic. So him there would, it's kind of been like admitting that Smash Bros. Is a fighting game, and not what Sakurai has up to this day very adamant as going, no, this is not a fighting game, this is a party game or some shit like that.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I agree with that, but well, that brings up to the last part of our talk on fighters. This is something that's actually happened mostly because Capcom has been notorious with this. That they would release skin packs. You could buy skin packs for one of their games for $5, and you would get for 3 characters you would get skin packs. I remember that started. It might have started before, but I remember it more from Street Fighter 4, where you could buy skin packs. And then after they started doing it on all their characters. Like, for example, in the original Marvel vs. Capcom 3, you could buy Jill Valentine and that Shimagura guy. And then in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I think they also had purchasable characters.
No, actually, on Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, well, it was still Jill Valentine and Shimagura.
Yeah?
But they did introduce, like you said, costume packs.
Okay, yeah, so it was the costume packs. And then, we didn't even touch about this game series, but in Soul Calibur 4, you could purchase Yoda or Darth Vader, depending on the version that you would get. So they started doing it. But the one that really got me upset is the new Mortal Kombat X. I was telling you that I was watching the Angry Joe review, and he was saying that microtransactions are in Mortal Kombat X, but in a very, very not good way. That a whole bunch of microtransactions would happen in Mortal Kombat X. The one that I found more offensive, personally anyway, is that you could, for $5, you could buy 30 easy fatalities. You would only press 2 buttons, and then you can do the fatalities. And really, what's the point? I mean, fighting games, like I mentioned at the start, are better when you memorize, or at least try to memorize how to do something. And that just shows, in my opinion, again, it's just strictly myself, how lazy people have gotten. That people don't want to take the time to memorize a moveset, and they're like, oh, sure, here, take my money, and make everything easy for me. And Angry Joe was showing a list of all these microtransactions that you could do for Mortal Kombat X. And some of them are stupid, like you could buy unlocks that you could do by playing the game and unlocking them on the crypt. Because that's something that Mortal Kombat started doing, is that you could play the game, and if you were really good at playing the game, you would get coins. And with those coins, you would unlock stuff on the crypt. Well, if you're too lazy to do that, you could pay actual money and unlock stuff on the crypt. And that's, again, in my humble opinion, just goes to show how lazy people have gotten.
Well, I do agree on that opinion that people have gotten lazy to do that. And at least the developers were graceful enough to make it optional and not be influenced by Warner Brothers to force it upon the players. That they need to buy these packs to get something that you should be able to do. Thankfully, NetherRealm Studios made it optional. I mean, you don't have to buy them to do the fatalities. You can just do them yourself.
But you forget that, and Capcom's also guilty of this, that they have characters that are already on the disc, but you have to buy them to activate them.
No, I know. Capcom is the worst example of managing DLC, but NetherRealm doesn't do that. I mean,
Goro. They did it with Goro.
Oh, well,
Goro's on disc, and you have to purchase him online.
Goro was a pre-order token.
I might have to watch the video again, but that was my understanding. Maybe you're right, and maybe I misheard what I read online, but I don't know. I just don't like. I don't like. I mean, you're already paying $60 to buy the game. Why milk more stuff from people? Because back in the day, you would buy the game and it was a complete game. There was nothing. You would unlock the characters by doing special things, but the characters were free because you bought the $60 game. Now, with DLC and everything, you know, it just Nintendo's also doing it. If you didn't register the Smash Brothers games, Mewtwo costs you $5. Lucas is gonna cost you, I think, $5 or $4.
It's probably the same.
And they're also doing the skin packs. Honestly, I would like to buy the Mega Man X and Proto Man skin packs for the Mii Fighters. Have you seen those?
Yeah, I was talking about those, but
Yeah, they look pretty cool. But even Nintendo's getting, and I don't know, it's just something you're already. The only good thing about Nintendo is that they do give you stuff for free. You know, they can, like, for example, Mario Kart for the Wii U, you could download the Mercedes-Benz characters, the cards for free.
Yeah.
And they also gave you for free the 200cc racing option.
Yeah, and the prices on Nintendo aren't bad, and it's not like Mewtwo or Lucas were already on the
No. That's new DLC, not on disc DLC. At least as far as we know. Maybe someone down the line will be able to prove otherwise.
We already know by now if that was the case.
Yeah.
Because hackers are really fast in digging that information out. Like I was saying with the whole Wii U and Void thing.
Yeah.
Those files would have been found because every time developers have that, it was in there, which is why they gave Capcom a lot of crap for that, because they did finish the game and locked out certain content to sell it to you.
Yeah,
that's bullshit.
That's something I personally don't like about Capcom, and it's kind of sucky to see that you know, Mortal Kombat's doing it too.
Yeah, but because I seen information about that, which is what I'm trying to say. Unlike Capcom, when you will only get like Goro if you pre-order it. You can buy it now because, you know, not everyone can pre-order. So then there's only that Goro is actually falls under that category that he's already in there, but you have to pay to unlock it. But only if you were unlucky to not pre-order it, which is understandable. Not everyone can do that. Like
yeah, but what about the fact that you have to buy a season pass to get Jason Voorhees and the Predator?
Those are being sold as combat packs. I guess it's the same as this, but it's the same as what we're talking about with Smash Brothers. It's like buying the whole bundle of Mewtwo and the Mii Fighters costumes. It's the same for.
But it's more expensive on Mortal Kombat X.
Oh yeah, that's because that's the influence of Warner Brothers and Microsoft doing that.
I haven't checked for sure, but I think it's almost like $30. I think.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. You're right on the prices. Killer Instinct is doing the same thing, actually. Now, one of the reasons why this whole DLC started happening, aside that's business practice, but it was the whole GameStop situation, where you buy a new game, and then you send it back to GameStop, and someone else buys that same game again. That money at the repurchase, the company doesn't get that. So to find a loophole around that system, they started doing digital copies and started doing DLCs in order to get as much money as possible and avoid retails from reselling that single copy of the game.
Yeah, GameStop. If I'm honest with everyone, I do purchase used games. I try to purchase Nintendo games new, but for the PlayStation 3, I usually buy them used. So. Because, you know, I support Nintendo and I don't support Sony that much. And I usually buy them when they're on sale, like buy 2 games, get the third free, and I usually use that to buy PlayStation games. But so I can see them trying to, keep their earnings with the DLC thing, but they just get too crazy with the prices. That's the thing that I'm really against is they charge a lot of money for stuff that shouldn't cost that much.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree upon that.
you could buying used games. I'm not lying. You could literally buy probably about 8 games for what the DLC is gonna cost you. 8 used games.
Yeah, I do agree upon that. The prices should equal the value of the work put into the package you're giving. $30 does not sound a price worth that amount. But well, the whole hook of it's the Predator, and a lot of people are gonna buy it just because of the Predator. But,
yeah, I hope somewhere down the line I would like to buy Mortal Kombat X. And I hope they bring Freddy back, because it would be cool to see, Jason versus Freddy.
Yeah.
But,
maybe. I mean, there's a lot of characters. Oh, you're right. Actually, now you talk about DLC, because there's in story mode of Mortal Kombat X. Maybe Angry Joe, this is what he was talking about. You see characters that are modeled, and you can fight them as computer opponents, but they have their unique moves.
Yeah.
The only reason why they wouldn't be playable is that they either got locked out on the discs, which they're going to sell to you later, which I hope not. I hope they release them for free, because they were already technically in the game. They're just computer opponents, not player controlled.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't. I'm not liking what's happening with video games nowadays. That companies are just they sell you an overpriced game. Except Nintendo. Nintendo hasn't done it yet, but other companies are selling you an overpriced game, and you're not getting the complete game. Sometimes it's all buggy as hell, and you have to wait for them to release a patch if you're lucky, because otherwise they're gonna sell you the patch so you can play the game that should have been complete in the first place. And a lot of people don't want to spend any money, and other people are, they spend their money to unlock everything as soon as possible, and then when you play online, you have these overpowered people beating you because they fell for the trick and they just purchased everything before anyone else.
Oh yeah, that's one of the business practices, the pay-to-win kind of situations. But,
yeah.
I mean, so far, the characters, well, unless they end up being really good, but so far the characters do seem balanced. But, I can understand your point. And at least Nintendo is doing it right.
Yeah. People give a lot of grief to Nintendo, and some of their decisions worry me because it's starting to feel like the shareholders are making some really greedy decisions.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping Nintendo can steer clear from that, but so far the only company that's honestly doing right by gamers is Nintendo.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. But before we actually finish, because we've been talking for a while, what are your thoughts on Soul Calibur, which is the other fighting series that we didn't touch on?
Yeah. Soul Calibur, I only started on the GameCube, which I think was the second one, where Link was
the one with Link. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one was good. Although that one falls among the fighting styles of Tekken, which I think is made by the same Namco.
Yeah, but with swords.
But with swords. And that I never got used to the combo, or well, to put in better words, I never got into that type of games. It was very good. I love the music. I love the characters and the story of it. I just never got into it. But Soul Calibur 2 for the GameCube was a very good game for me.
Yeah. I was really looking forward to that one because of Link. Because on the Xbox you got Spawn, and on the PlayStation you got Hiachi.
Yeah.
But Link was the better one, honestly. I've played Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast, and that one was pretty cool. My favorite one, of course, is Soul Calibur 2. I don't know, I just felt that game felt more balanced, and again, it had Link. Soul Calibur 3 was pretty good, but it didn't feel as awesome. And Soul Calibur 4 was pretty cool because it had Darth Vader and the Secret Apprentice. But by far my favorite one is 2, definitely.
Yeah. 5, which they actually gave for free on the Xbox if you have a gold membership. It's good too, but I didn't like the story mode for it, and it's a shame that game dropped out of the map quickly because it had amazing online.
Oh yeah, the online was pretty cool.
Yeah, I just can't understand. Actually, I don't understand why Soul Calibur games drop off like that. I don't really see much news about them. I guess I haven't really seen competitive videos about it, unlike the other series I talked about. I guess just either there's a broken character or there's not enough variety to continue the game.
I don't know. I think the characters are very varied, and it is one of those games that you have to master the moveset. I think that's it. A lot of people don't. Again, as we talked before, they're getting too lazy and they don't want to take the time to master a moveset.
Yeah.
Because on most fighting games, you can do the specials by locking them to a single button. So you can do all these complicated combos with one button, whereas other fighting games, you have to do them manually. So I think that's the thing with Soul Calibur, because visually it's a beautiful series.
Yeah.
All the characters are very varied. I think the design on them are pretty cool. Even though you got characters like Tacky or Ivy that are distracting for other reasons. But I think Soul Calibur, and it's a shame I actually forgot about it, but I think the play control in Soul Calibur is pretty solid for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any complaints about the way the game plays. Again, it's just one of those games I didn't got that invested into trying to get better at it. And I did jump into a few online games, and I won a few times, but I was losing more than I was winning, and that's kind of dismotivating.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a game series that I enjoyed quite a bit. The only other game series that I can think of that we didn't talk that much, but honestly because I don't have that much history with them, is Tekken and Dead or Alive.
Oh, yeah, same here. I only remember playing Dead or Alive. I even forgot which number it was.
If it's on the PlayStation 2, I think it was Dead or Alive 2.
Most likely, yeah.
And Tekken, the only...
Virtua Fighter. We also forgot about Virtua Fighter.
Oh yeah, but again, I don't have that much history with that one. It's a pretty complicated. I think that one's even more complicated than Soul Calibur.
It follows the same basic mechanics as actually between Virtua Fighter, Tekken, Soul Calibur. Fuck, I forgot the other one.
Dead or Alive?
Dead or Alive, thanks. They all have the same mechanics. That there's high, low, overhead, the sidestepping, and the special moves.
Yeah, I don't know. I never. I respect Virtua Fighter. I really do, and the ones that came out on PlayStation 2 are gorgeous, both in gameplay and visual. But I don't know. I never really got that deep into that series. And Dead or Alive, the one that came out on PlayStation 2, was good. After that, it just became fan service, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's the state right now of fighting games. It's just fan service and money grabs.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but hopefully it'll fighting games will make a comeback. Hopefully something big will happen and stuff will go back to being the way it was, because I'm still a fan of memorizing movesets. Again, I'm not good by any means on fighting games, but I enjoy playing fighting games a lot. I really do enjoy playing fighting games, and I wish they would go back to that pure old school ways, like Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers, I think, is a perfect example of a current fighter, even though it's not classified as a fighter. It's a party game.
Yeah.
That works. It has simple move sets, but it also has its complexities. If you really want to master a character, you can do so, and you can get really good with a character. Even if it's not a character that's broken, like Meta Knight or Captain Falcon, or actually in Wii U I haven't encountered a broken character yet.
Yeah, me neither. Which is very good. And the competitors, and actually why I'm really surprised with Nintendo, because they released an update patch to fix a few things that
Yeah, balance issues.
yeah,
Yeah.
that could potentially be broken. They fixed that, and then before the Mewtwo, Diddy Kong was turning out to be very powerful, and they fixed that. Oh, and Sonic too. And now they have to find now competitive players are trying to find, okay, so what's the next broken thing? So they're really making the game balance, and I really applaud Nintendo for doing that.
Yeah, yeah,
They're
definitely.
they're actually patching shit that should have been fixed. Too bad Brawl didn't have that treatment, but this one is, and I'm really happy for that.
That's the other thing. I'm not a big fan of patching. You know, I understand that companies want to get their games out as soon as possible, but doing that, you know, causes all sort of bugs and balancing issues. But at least you have an option to, like you said, with an update you can fix those issues and make a really good game. So as long as it's free, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, for the most part, patches are free. I actually wish they did that for Ultimate Marvel, because that game has dropped off the map because because of the whole Marvel license expiring for Capcom.
Oh yeah, and you can't download the DLC characters. I tried.
Yeah, no, they're completely gone now. Not even the custom packs, which sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the top tier characters like Virgil, Taskmaster, Doom, and Morgan, they never got patched, so tournaments just was seeing the same thing over and over again, and people get bored of that.
Yeah, because I remember in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Sentinel was the broken character.
Oh, there's a lot of characters.
Yeah, I remember Sentinel being the most one. I remember playing with a couple of people in the arcades, and Sentinel was just broken as hell.
He still is.
But yeah, well, that's our thoughts on, because we gotta wrap this up because we've been talking for an hour 20. It was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can find a lot of topics to talk about. You know, I've noticed that you're a bit more positive on gaming outlook than I am. I'm becoming a little bit more bitter about everything. But and you have more experience in fighting games. Like you said, you have clocked in like 5,000 matches on the line. So you're definitely between the two of us, you're definitely the expert on fighting games.
Yeah.
But we can talk about a whole bunch of stuff. Hopefully, even if people don't like this, I enjoy talking to you, bro. We haven't talked like this in a while about video games, and if you're up for it, I'd definitely like to do this again.
Sure.
All right.
I don't know how the fuck you're gonna edit this. Oh damn it! I can't swear. I don't know how you're gonna edit this video.
Well, I'm just gonna use it as audio. It's just gonna be audio, and I'm gonna put some images here and there.
At least split it up into a few parts.
Nah, most podcasts last like an hour.
At least do a 2-part. Jesus.
No. I'll upload the full 1 hour video, and if people complain about the length, I'll cut it down. How about that?
Okay.
That'll depend on you guys. If you enjoyed hearing us talk for 2 hours, well, it's an hour 18 minutes right now. Leave a comment if you want me to chop this down, or if you want us to try to. It's gonna be hard to not talk about everything in like 20 minutes. So I think worst comes to happen, splitting the audio cast in 2 chunks would be better. Because as we were talking, we came up with all these different things to talk about. So I think that's going to happen a lot if we keep doing this.
Yeah, the best we can do is try to script it.
No, I'm against scripting.
No,
I think you get more honest opinions if you talk from the heart.
Let me just slap you. I didn't finish it. by scripting, I didn't mean like writing down everything we're gonna say. No, screw that. I meant just like what bullet points do we cover? Because we ended up talking about 6 to 10 different fighting games. We can shorten that down to just the most important ones.
I think we touched on the most important ones, definitely.
Yeah, but we also talked about other ones that didn't really matter.
They're fighting games. They're part of the genre.
Okay.
But yeah, I see what you're in. We can do. We'll figure something out. We can do a top 10 list of stuff, and then we can just babble on about stuff on another one. Yeah, we could do that. So it really depends on people. You know, if this series becomes popular, you know, we'll work as we go along.
Okay.
Cool. Well, again, this was fun. It was fun talking about, you know, video games with you, bro, and reminiscing about the good old days.
Yeah.
So this is Vargas XX78. You can find me at the Vargas XX78 YouTube page, which is where I'm going to post this. I'm also hopefully going to be able to post this on the Facebook webpage for the Vargas Vault. That's a webpage that got inspired because of my bro here. I usually post stuff about video games or movies or comic books in that one. Where can people find you at, bro? Bro? You still there? Bro?
Sorry, my bro was knocking on the door.
Oh.
That what you said?
Where can people find you at?
Oh, as mentioned, you can just either type Dyz69 on Google and you'll actually get my artwork there, or just on YouTube, also as Dyz69.
Cool. What's your Facebook webpage?
Oh, my Facebook webpage is Retro Serpent Games, where I'm uploading artwork and hopefully future video game development.
Nice. Nice. Well, that's where you can find us. Again, this was the premiere episode of the Super Vargas Brothers Audiocast. If we get really good at this, we might turn this into a podcast with chat and everything, so we can interact with other people. But until we get really good at that, hopefully we'll see you again on the next Audiocast, which will be something that we'll come up with. But until then, I personally thank you all, and this is Vargas XX78 signing out. Bro, give your goodbye.
Well, thanks again for watching. Until next time, take care and have fun playing. Lates.
Later, everyone.